What's up, guys? We are keeping the connector train rolling. This week, talking about Microsoft Teams, covering the actions, the triggers, and loads of demos with the MVP, Ahmad Najjar. Let's go. And now we're filming. All right. All right, guys, and so I am here with Ahmad, who has agreed to join us and walk us through another connector tutorial. This week, Ahmad, go ahead, introduce yourself, introduce the connector we're talking about, and then feel free, bro, to take it away.
All right. So first, I'm going to start off by sharing my screen, which is very important. And then I should be able to do this. And now you should be seeing the presentation.
We see the presentation.
Okay, so today's connector is Microsoft Flow's Teams connector. So we're going to be talking about Teams.
Awesome.
So I've seen a lot of people asking about Teams last time. And yes. I thought it's going to be like a really good idea to talk about Teams. Now, some of the people think that probably it's not that useful to use the connector for Microsoft.
Who thinks that? They're crazy.
I don't know, but because you get notifications for the messages and you get digests from Teams, but still you can do a lot of productivity with that. So I think we're going to see that in this presentation. So I'm going to take it off.
Let's do it.
So that's my Twitter handle and my blog. I think definitely I should remove my blog. Follow me, definitely, but
definitely follow him.
I don't know about my blog. I don't blog that much. Probably I talk more. Yeah. To the next one. So agenda. We're going to talk about a little introduction about Teams and just a very short demo, just to give you a crystallized idea about Teams. Going to talk about general information about Teams. Is something that's I think it's useful.
Cool.
Talk about the connector creation. So that's something you want to know about. We can talk about Microsoft Teams connector triggers. Talk about the actions and lots of demos at the end.
Awesome.
All right. So we're going to start off by talking about myself. So my name is Ahmed Al Najjar. You can call me Ahmad. I won't feel offended at all. I love you, John, aka the Flow Jedi. I'm based in Oslo in Norway. I'm a senior consultant at InfoWorker. I'm a business applications MVP and a passionate, enthusiastic developer, heart and soul. I really love development. Over 14 years of experience in SharePoint. I've worked with SharePoint for a long time. Now I'm actually working with SharePoint patterns and practices in PowerShell, of course. So I still work with SharePoint these days, but I'm not doing that. I'm doing Flow, Power Apps, and Logic Apps. So that's awesome.
The best
and
stuff.
Yeah. And I'm a co-organizer for the SharePoint Saturday in Oslo.
Right on.
And let's move. So first of all, just a little introduction about Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams is a unified collaboration and communication platform that combines persistent workplace, chat, video meeting, and file storage. And it also brings together some of the application integration as well. Something I want to mention here, because people get confused, what is SharePoint and what is Teams? So if you want to look at it from a different point of view, Teams actually lives a little bit on the surface, and SharePoint is kind of like, the backbone. And for file storage, OneDrive is the backbone for SharePoint. So there's like a lot of collaboration that's actually happening between those applications and services that right now that are available within the cloud. But if you wanted to look at it, so when you actually create a team within Microsoft Teams, it actually creates an Office 365 group. And this group is actually a SharePoint site. In that site, we have libraries, lists, and stuff. So basically, it's just bringing everything together, doing the glue as well. As Flow does the glue for the different services and applications, this does the glue for SharePoint and OneDrive, and doing also glue for, I think, the chat, video meeting, Skype. So
I think honestly, if you're not using Teams, you're crazy. You should definitely check out Teams. It's an awesome platform. Even if you just use it for communication,
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
It's a better replacement, I think, for Skype, because even if you just think about meetings and chat, the meetings have like notes connected to them, and you can join it all from one place. It pulls in your calendar where your chat is and where your meetings are, and it's just, even from the base level of just chat and video, it's a
Yeah,
fantastic experience.
yeah,
But
that's
then
true.
you bring in productivity, you bring in collaboration and all the other things it does really well. And it's a really great product that I really believe I use all the time, and I think everyone should be using.
Yeah, we're doing the meeting on Teams right now, so we're
Right now,
using
we're
it. Yeah,
recording on Teams. Yes,
yeah, we're actually walking the talk right now. So
that's right. That's right.
all right, so it actually also brings this collaboration, surface as well to you. So instead of like, working with SharePoint, kind of like, a little bit hard probably for some end users, because they want to switch to Skype to do chat, and they want to set something really on the fly for somebody else. So you don't have to leave this kind of platform that's put out for you. So it's just
Yeah,
bringing the collaboration and communication into just one platform, so you could do that in one place.
everything
So
in one place.
yeah, exactly. So it's not about like which is best or better to use. I think that
No,
you could use both. You could
absolutely.
still
You
use
should use
both,
both.
yeah,
Totally.
of course, yeah. But it just brings the collaboration communication to a different level for you. And it does some as well, some application integration. You can integrate with some other non-Microsoft as well services and products, and something nice. So we're not going to be extending what are those products, what are these types of integrations. So we're just going to stop over there.
Let's
If
go.
you want to learn more, something I remember, I need to big shout out to Melissa Hubbard and Matthew,
Yep. Yep.
because both of them, they actually wrote a book about mastering Microsoft Teams, and you could just go check it out. So Melissa Hubbard, big shout out for her, and Matthew Bailey, big shout out for him as well. So both of them, they wrote a book. You could just go check it out. You'll find it, I think, on eBay, ebooks,
Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah,
Yep. It's all over the place.
yeah. So if you want to learn more about Teams, just go check it out. All right, let's move on.
Let's go.
So first of all, we're just gonna, do a really small demo about Microsoft Teams. So I'm gonna switch here to Teams. Um, so this is it. Yeah. So
The
I've
web
created.
version.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm using the web version because I'm using the desktop version to do the recording right now,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So that's why I'm using the web version. So the web version of Teams, it looks like the desktop version, so pretty much.
Yep.
And what we have here is just I created 3 teams, and each team has different channels here. So I have the Carpenters Com, I have NASA, and I have the Music Corner. And we're going to be doing different demos against those teams. So what you see here is actually, this is a team. This is a team. This is a team. And underneath each team, you find channels. By default, it creates the general channel for you. And then you could just go from there. You could manage and create more channels depending on the subjects that you want to talk about, depending on the members that you want to join in for a certain project, for a certain case, certain issue, yada, yada, yada. And over here, you see the chats. If you're doing chats with people within your organization, Daniel Laskowitz is part of my organization, as you can see here. But we've done a joint demo before, so I had to add him as a user. I'm going to be deleting him. All right. No, just kidding. All right. So, and you see here, I've enabled the flow bot. So you could just as well chat with the Flowbot, and the Flowbot will actually, interact with you, and probably you could run some workflows as well from the Flowbot. So the Flowbot actually is an application that lives inside Microsoft Teams. So it has nothing to do with Flow itself, but it just grabs everything from Flow, the flows that you've created, the ones that you could call, the ones that you want to run. It gets from Flow and then send probably a message, and then it will run the flow for you. So that's something that
it can list your flows, it can run flows for you, it can take a couple commands from you. It does a few things.
Yeah, so here's kind of like, a list for that. We're going to be talking about that later a little bit more, but we're not going to be covering the Teams part of Flow rather than covering the connector part of Teams.
Totally.
Because there's two different things actually. So if we're going to extend that, then we're going to be needing another half an hour.
We'll do another video.
Yeah, probably part 2.
Perfect.
All right, you see here Teams, you see here the different, sorry, that's the apps. Do you see the different activities? You see the meetings, and because right now I'm having a meeting with John, so you can see that. You see the files, the different files, and the storages that you have here. So that's really something nice. So we're familiar with what is Teams, how does it look like, and what are the teams that we have for our demos. So you kind of have a crystallized idea what's going on.
Yep.
All right, so that's all for now.
Okay.
And we get back again to our demo. So, all right. So the first trigger we're going to be talking about is when a new channel message is added. And what does that mean is when I write a message to a channel. So somebody would have like a debate. I'm already getting notifications already from Teams if I follow the channel. And that's right. I totally understand. But what if you want to filter those messages based on a certain criteria, a certain contents that you have in the message, for example?
Yep.
You can't do that.
I don't need notifications on everything.
Exactly. So you can stop following the channels and start doing some flows that would help you to send you what matters for you, not everything.
Yep.
You know? So that's one. The second thing, when I'm mentioned in a channel message, so you also get notifications for that, but what if you got mentioned by your boss? And that's something very important. You need to know that if you got mentioned by that specific person, you need to know. It's not about, sending the digest from Teams or sending the notifications. Is what matters, the notification that matters you want to know about. So that's why we have those two amazing triggers. Yeah. So those are the only triggers that are available for Teams. So when a new channel message is added, or when mentioned in a channel message.
Yep.
Let's move to the next one. So for the connector actions, we have get messages. So you get the whole bunch of messages for a channel. You could create a channel. You could post a message to a channel as a user, as yourself, or as the flow bot. Or you could post your own adaptive card as a flow bot. Da-da!
That's a new thing. That's very exciting.
Yeah, so we're going to see that. I've actually prepared 2 demos as a user and as your own adaptive card as a flow bot. But the flow bot is something that's been there for a while. I don't think that's really interesting, but I think that it's all covered within your own adaptive card as the flow bot. It covers both the adaptive cards and the Flowbot part.
And so the Flowbot might not be that exciting, but adaptive cards is exciting in Teams.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then we have a list action. So you could list the channels and you could list the teams. So those are on the right-hand side. We see all the actions that are available for Teams inside in Flow. All right.
Cool.
So with that, we could move right away to the demos.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I'm going to take it away. So for the first demo, I'm going to go here. So I'm going to open up and show you what I've wrote for that specific one. So for that one, when a new channel message is added on the music corner and on the channel of scratching beats, all right? And then here what I'm doing, I'm checking if the content of that message, all right? So if you can see here, I'm getting the trigger and then the content of the message.
Yep.
If it contains baby scratch, and for those who actually does music and DJ, there's something that's called baby scratch.
Okay.
And I'm not going to be making the sound of a baby scratch because I don't have the turntables right now, but I'm doing turntables with flow.
All right. All right.
So what you see here is actually if somebody mentioned something about baby scratch, I want to get notified because I'm interested about baby scratches. And I have information about that. I'm skilled, person with baby scratch. I could just give my experience app to everybody. Or probably I want to learn and somebody has some experience about baby scratch.
Nice.
And you could exactly have the same projection on the different, subjects that you have at work. If somebody mentioned, a certain project, a certain abbreviations for a project that you want to be notified, and that's something is really cool.
So if somebody mentioned like, YouTube, right? Like, oh, I want to know what they're talking about. Or if they're mentioning video production, like, oh, I want to be in on that. What are they talking about? So I could use that same exact idea to search for any keywords, right?
Yeah. Baby scratch. All right. I want to know more about baby scratching probably, but because if it contains baby scratch, then it will get me this message. But it takes some time until actually it responds. So I'm going to move on to the next one, and we're going to see the notification once I get it on my email. All right. So that's for the first one. So when a new channel message is added, then I want to trigger a flow. I've used the compose just because I always like to look into the contents of everything when I'm working. So that's why I use the compose. That's something
that's an extra step. You don't need that.
Yeah, you don't need that. You don't need that. But I just do that because I'm a developer. I love to look into the JSON and look what are the contents of the objects that got returned. So
Jason, I don't know. We don't need to talk about Jason today.
No. All right, so we'll go back to our flows, and I could close that one. And we could go to the second trigger and edit. So for that one, I'm not using the compose, luckily. And here, when I am mentioned in a channel message for Team NASA for Channel Mars Expedition.
Yep. Okay.
So if the message actually is from Elon Musk, or if the user is Elon Musk, I want to know about it. So if the user that posted that message, was Elon Musk, I got mentioned by Elon Musk, so I need to know.
You gotta definitely know about that.
Exactly. And I have Elon Musk here.
Oh man.
So yeah, so I could open this up here. And
there you go. Look at this. We need your ideas.
Yeah. Your bright ideas are needed. And then I could just tag myself here. I'm missing a D here. And then I could just do this. So this is a user that I've created, and this is Elon Musk, as you can see here with a picture. Yep. And he does not, do a lot of work here. He's just, goofing around.
What about, could you then create a flow that if you got mentioned, you could automatically send a response?
You could send a response. The problem is I don't remember if the ID of the channel and where you want to send that message back is available within the object, but I think probably it is. It is.
All right. I'm just trying to mass automate all of my communications, so I'm just curious.
Yeah. So what I could do here is just look if we have any information about where is this message
ID.
That's the message ID, the ID for the message itself. But we don't have the team or the channel because you've already decided, and that's actually a bummer. I was going to talk about that later. So when you are actually using the triggers, the team and channel is not actually moved forward with you to the next level. So that's why you don't know where it's actually originated from. So and that's why I've used the compose in the previous flow, and I tried to look into the message if you have the information within the message, but unfortunately, yeah, there's nothing.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Teams team, if you're listening, we need this.
Yeah, we definitely do. So here I actually got notified. So here because I want to know more about baby scratching.
Nice.
And you notice here it's actually because it includes baby scratch. It contains that. So I got sent that. You might be interested in this.
Yep.
But the problem is right now is I don't know on which team or on which channel. And that's kind of a bummer. So you have to get back again to check. Oh, okay, so I understand. Or you could have it hard coded within your flow and then send here. You might be interested in this. This got originated from this channel and this.
Yeah. Totally. You could type it in because you would look at the trigger and see, oh, this is from NASA and Mars expedition, and you could just write that in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And for that one, I've done that to show you the difference that this one does not have the team because we don't have the content for that, the dynamic content to put the team and the channel. But when Elon Musk mentioned me, so your bright ideas are needed and my name is here. So I got an email. It says this might be interesting for you in the Mars expedition program. So no, I know that this is from that channel, and I could also add the team so I could know specifically where it is.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah. So that's that. And we'll move to the next demo.
All right.
I could leave that one here and we go to my flows. And all right. So the first one, we actually have the get messages. And I was thinking about using that in a really, useful way. It's just not only, getting all the messages because you're already getting the digest from Teams itself. If you're following a team or a channel, and if you actually put that as favorite, you get notifications or digest. But if you follow, you get all the activities that's happening on that channel. And it could be really hectic because your phone will be buzzing all the time, probably.
Yeah.
Or probably you'll be getting a lot of emails and you just get lost. Too many. Yeah, too many emails. Exactly. So I thought about I could do that in a really, fancy way and a nice way to show you the real power of Teams and Flow as well. So first I'm going to show you the flow itself. And say that I want to get a digest for all the messages for today. So I want to get all the messages that got created just today for a certain channel. Okay. All right. So what I did here, I just did a manual trigger for flow because the flow bot inside Teams does not accept inputs. So you have to put it without inputs. All right. And then I'm getting the current time. And here I'm just initiating a messages array and it's a variable. And here I'm using the action. I'm getting messages for Music Corner and DJ Flow. All right, so the team is Music Corner and I'm getting all the messages for the channel DJ Flow. And I'm looping through all the messages here and I'm doing a condition. So the condition is I'm just checking if the created date time for the message is equal or less than today's date. If it's less than today's date, I don't want it. But if it's over today's date, and definitely it's not going to be tomorrow because you're not going to be posting something for tomorrow. So it's definitely going to be today, right? So if it is less than today, if no, then I append that to the array. And as you can see here, I'm doing that in a JSON fashion way, So I'm just doing that. So I'm getting objects. And then when I append that to the array, so I'm getting an array of JSON objects at the end. So when I take that to the compose action that's available within Flow, I get a whole JSON object with JSON objects inside.
All right.
All right. So I'm doing the compose here after I've just looped through all the messages that I got and just did the threshold if it's today's messages. And then here I just put the variable inside the compose. I create an HTML table. I'm using just here CSS to make the table looks better and fancier in the email.
He's breaking out his developer skills here, everyone.
Yeah.
Don't be too intimidated. I also could not do what you just saw here, so don't feel bad. This is Ahmad getting fancy here for this.
I should do that. I should, get fancy because we need to show the real power of the tool. So we're just showing you how we're doing that. So and then I'm sending an email here. Today's digest for channel DJ Flow under music corner. And I'm just embedding the CSS and I'm putting the output from the create HTML table. Nice. And that's all.
All right.
All right. So what I can do is just run now and run now. I could just do a refresh here, just see if there's something wrong. Probably I need to refresh the browser or something. So here we're running the flow, and as you can see here, it's running and everything seems to be fine. And I should get an email. And as you can see here, I got an email with all the messages from that specific channel. So if I go and open the channel, okay, so we wait until it just loads up, yeah, and go to Teams, and then go to DJ Flow, and you see here we have 3 messages, and they are actually posted today at 3 p.m.
Nice.
And you see here, check this mix by DJ Flow. We need more music here and user interaction. And then
this makes me feel like we really do need a DJ Flow.
Yeah.
Like we need someone who rocks flows and does DJing.
I'll try to be that person.
Yes. Yes.
I've already had a DJ controller at home. For those who does not know me, I've done some DJ back in the days when I was still at college. So
we need some Ahmad mixes, man.
And as you can see here, I've received the email and it's formatted, and you could as well, when you hover, you get this really nice effect because I've added this CSS to my email. And notice here, it's not actually ordered in the right way, like, from, the older from new to old or something. So you could just do that in the flow. But I just thought out I won't be bothering myself with that because I'll make the flow more complex. So I haven't actually, ordered that, but you could do that within the flow and, reordered everything within flow. So something else here we have, which is get channels digest. So for this, probably at the end of the month, the Teams administrator would like to know what are the new teams and what are the teams that we have right now, and probably go check, let's say that we have 10 channels inside one team. Why do we have 10 channels? We should be having for example, 5. So you could do that and send the report to the admin and just see all the get channels digest. So if I open this in here, I've actually combined 2 actions here. So I could just, with one flow, we could just get it over with so fast. So what you can see here, we start this manually. I initialize a variable, which is the channels array. And first of all, what I do here is just list all the teams that I have within Teams. And you don't need to do any additional stuff. The second thing is actually I loop through those teams. And then I get each team, all right?
Each channel for
each channel for each team. Sorry, yep. I get each channel for each team. So notice here I've listed the teams and then I listed the channel based on the team that I got because it's looping through that.
Yep.
So what I do here is then I'm looping through again through the channels because I want to send a report for that. So what I'm doing here, looping through the channels, and then I'm creating a JSON object that have the channel from the the first for each, and or the second one, I mean, and from the second one is actually I have the display name for the team. So I should get like channel and team, channel and team, channel and team. So I get that email. So I get a full report of all the channels and teams that I have. And then I'm doing a compose and creating HTML, doing my fancy stuff here, the CSS, and then I'm sending an email with the output. So you can see here, I've ran a different flow here, which is,
Yep.
I think it was number 3, I guess. So run flow, and let's say number 3 here. It worked. I don't know why the other ones are not working, though we don't have any input, but see, and now it's working. Weird. Anyways, we get back again here, and I could run this flow. I could just do a test. I'll perform the trigger, and I'll just run the flow. And I'm just going to go around the flow, list all the teams, and then go for each team and list all the channels, yada, 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 and then send an email with a really nice looking table with all the channels and in which team each channel are in.
Nice.
So as you can see here, SpaceX and NASA, Apollo 8, and etc.
Quite a fancy table you've made there.
Yeah.
I need to borrow your CSS code for that.
Yeah, that's all right. It's available for free, by the way. So, but
wonderful.
You can borrow that anytime. All right, so get back again and go back to our flows in here. So another thing, which is actually posting a message posting a message to a team, or sorry, to a channel. So what I did here is actually you find here, I don't know why this is failing, but for example, when Elon Musk is mentioned or is tweeted something, I want to post something to NASA on SpaceX. So as you can see here, this has been running for quite a while right now. So if I go to NASA and then go to SpaceX, you can see there's like a whole bunch of tweets been going on ever since I've created that bot, and people writing in different languages, as you can see here. So this is really what
There's some funny ones in there.
Yeah. So I'm posting those. So this is a really kind of like, a good analogy. So you could just use the post to channel, or you could get back to my calendar flow if you guys remember that from Microsoft Ignite, because I post a message a week before I go to each event. So that will do a delay and then send that on a channel, inform my colleagues that I'm going on an event. So this is also a good analogy. So you could just use that.
Yep.
What else? So we're doing this here, and I think that I've created a different one in case that one didn't work. It seems that I failed because I've just went over the quota or something. I think.
Oh yeah, out of call volume quota will be replenished in 6 minutes.
Exactly. So this is what usually happens with Teams. So Teams, if you're listening, guys, you need to fix this stuff. So yeah. All right. So we're back here again. So for example, I've created this, and if somebody tweets something about the Flow Jedi, so I get, for example, something on the carpenters.com on general. So probably right now, John is tweeting something about the Flow Jedi. So probably you'll get something on general. So we'll wait for a while. Have you posted something?
I'm working on it.
Working on it.
So is it all one word, or is it 2 words, or what was the format?
It's one word. It's the Flow Jedi with a hashtag.
All right, done. Sent.
All right, so we should go back here and see if that worked. Probably it's going to take some time till it works.
Oh, wait. Oh, I messed it up.
What?
It's my fault.
What?
I didn't put the.
Oh, okay. You need to put the Flow Jedi. It's just one hashtag.
Flow Jedi.
All right.
Okay, okay. Sent.
All right. So you should pick it up so fast.
Any minute now. Any minute.
Any minute now. Depends on the Twitter API. All right. So you'll just keep.
This time I definitely got it right.
Yeah, I'll just wait for that for a minute. Just go check out the flows. We'll get back that after that.
All right.
So one last thing I guess we need to see here, which is actually posting your own adaptive card.
Yeah.
All right. So what we have here, a very simple flow, very simple flow. I didn't meant to make it so complicated because you could just play around with the adaptive card because you could just put in your own stuff within the adaptive card. So if you don't know about the adaptive cards, you could just go check that out within adaptivecards.io, which is a site for Microsoft. It just has samples, and the sample that we see here is actually from that site. You just go there, check it out, and you could just create your own adaptive cards. You could just, use the samples there and then create something and then put some, dynamic content in here. I've just copied and pasted whatever I found there for the weather. So here, when a new channel message is added, and on the NASA team for channel to the moon and back, because we need to know the weather. So we check here the content of the message. If it contains or if it's equal to weather ? You should just post that adaptive card, giving you an information about the weather. So I go here.
The weather on the moon?
No, the weather on Earth, because when you want to shoot a rocket, you need to know the weather. Of course.
Okay, perfect.
Right? You're right.
Good.
Weather, and then I put ? and then do that.
Okay.
It's just going to take your time. And as you can see here, this is one adaptive card from before, and I was just playing around. And you can just send different kinds of adaptive cards, and you just put the response in there. But remember that response does not get picked up by Flow, because this is actually, there's some other actions that you could do here. You could do some Azure functions, or you could do some other stuff that you could just interact and then make the Flow post a different message depending on the response that you've sent from that one. This one does not do anything when you do submit. As you can see here, it's just a button here. You could fill on your information here. As you can see here, you could just fill in your email. You put your phone and then you submit, and then you should attach an action here that happens, probably calls a Azure function, calls something else, an HTTP request to Flow, and then, does something else. So you could do that whatever you want here. Let's see if this got picked up. And we'll just go back here. It actually takes some time until it actually gets picked up. And this one failed, probably because I'm over the quota or something. Yeah.
Yep, out of call volume quota.
Yeah, so out of volume quota, so that's why it's not.
It was your Twitter one, man. It raped your quota.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, I should have stopped it because right now, as you can see here, this flow is not running. Probably it failed because I don't have enough quota to do that. So I think probably it's a good idea to switch off this here like that.
Yep.
So I'll just go back in here. And I think this should be rescheduled or something after a while or something.
Yeah, I think it actually told you in the flow. It told you like your reset time.
Yeah. So that should do it, but at least like it's good that I have my backup plan, which is
Yes.
this is the adaptive card. This is how it's going to look like,
Yep.
and you could just create different kinds of adaptive card. I don't know if I'm.
Oh, there it was. 13 March. Go down. There's today. Oh, go back. There's today.
Yeah, that's actually today. I was just playing
Yep.
around, and then I copied that back again to make it Monday, April 1, to make it static.
Cool.
But what I can show you here is actually this. This is the site. So this
Okay,
is
so they let you
activity.
borrow some.
Yeah, so you could just borrow some. So here's a calendar reminder. Here's flight itinerary, and like
Click that video one at the bottom.
this video
Yeah,
product.
yeah,
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 this
yeah.
is amazing. So you can
Ooh.
just click that, or just plays the video, and
So what I could do is I could create a flow that when I post a video, it drops one of these in a channel.
exactly. So probably you could say if you have a tutorial video for the new employees, you could just write down tutorial video and then question mark or something, and then I'll just post that to the users and just send that email. So you don't need even like, what they call center to help, users just, make it flow work at the back end.
So cool.
Yeah. So this is the template that I've actually used. I've just copied and pasted that and just posted that from Flow. But you could use different kinds of samples here, or you could start from a sample and then create your own stuff. So
Adaptivecards.io. That
okay,
is awesome.
so that's the site. Probably you need to put that when you're done with the video.
Yep.
Just everybody to help them out if they want to use that.
Cool.
And with this demo, I think that probably we are wrapped up, but I'm just gonna go check out on the flows if they actually ran. But they got scheduled for like 2 hours or something. I don't think so. So with
Yeah,
this,
your flow runs, your team calls are out of quota, sir.
yeah. So with this, we go back again here. So we wrap up, our Teams connector for today. Thank you everybody for watching, and thank you, John Levesque, for this. I will see you on Saturday. We're going
I'm
to the
so excited.
MVP Summit.
Yes.
So I'll see you on Saturday.
I'll see you Saturday, bro. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for sharing your knowledge and teaching us how to do flow more awesome.
Thank you very much.